What do you consider an RC monster truck? Does it have to be a straight axle? Or can it be independent? Hey guys, how's it going? Thad here with Iowa Budget RC. And so I'm gonna do this video as kind of a response to a post I made on Facebook to a group, and apparently some people got butthurt about it. And so I joined the USHRA, old USHRA / SHO or SSO group on Facebook, and it's all about the old monster trucks pre-1995, I think, or 1996. And so I made a post on there, and I posted some of our monster trucks that were based on real trucks, like the Excalibur, the Awesome Kong, the Rolling Thunder, whatever. And people on there kind of got butthurt because I said that, to me, the trucks of that era, not just the RC monster trucks, but those monster trucks were real trucks, to me, because they were built by good old boys in their backyard shops or at their four-wheel drive shops, and that they were basically, Detroit steel and not fiberglass renditions of something that resembles a truck with a endo cage inside, And so anyway, people did not like that, apparently, and there was a lot of likes on the post, but there was also a lot of hatred towards it. So screw those guys. But anyway, it gave me an idea to do a video. And so I wanted to kind of go over a little bit of the history of RC monster trucks. I don't see any videos really on YouTube showing the history of monster trucks, and I don't have a lot of the originals or whatever, but I've got some repros, and I do have the original, which is the Datsun Marui Big Bear, which came out in 1984, and they beat Tamiya to the punch. So the Marui Big Bear came out in 84 and was offered through mail order only as a kit with no radio system at all. They then lasted up through about 1990 or so, something like that, and then quit making RCs. Tamiya did not come out with their first monster truck until they used the ORV chassis to create the Blackfoot here in 1986. And so Marui beat Tamiya to the punch by a few years there. And, people were trying to say that since I didn't consider the new school monster trucks real monster trucks, they were trying to say trucks like the Blackfoot or the Big Bear or the Lunchy or the Rolling Thunder, which I just popped the body off of. But anyway, they were trying to say that these were not real trucks because they are not solid axle like the Clod. So the only ones that they considered to be, in my post, real monster trucks, real RC monster trucks, were the Clodbusters and the USA 1, because they're straight axle. Again, people nitpicking, people being jerks. But anyway, so back to the history of monster trucks. So we started off with the Marui Big Bear, and then in 87 or 86, Tamiya came out with the Blackfoot, and on the ORV chassis put the big taller tires, which these are actually Blackfoot wheels and tires. This actually has the Blackfoot tires or wheels on it, but I put the Midnight Pumpkin Lunchbox style tires on it because I don't like the tractor style tires for the monster truck look. And then also in 87, they came out with the Clod. Now this is an original Clod, of course. This is a Super Clodbuster that we just built here recently. And but still basically the same truck. Then later in '87, they came out with the Lunchbox. And of course, this is not an original issue. My Rollin' Thunder is, but the Lunchbox was a huge hit. Now, granted, stuff like the Blackfoot and the Lunchbox, they're only two-wheel drive, but it's still a monster truck, right? And so then the following year, in '89, they came out with the, I guess it was '88, they came out with the Midnight Pumpkin, so they didn't skip a year. And this was the same basic chassis as the Lunchbox, but with the Ford body on it. And then '89 is when they came out with the QD Midnight Pumpkin, which is what I was thinking. But and they had several different other monster trucks in between. And then Traxxas came out with monster trucks, and Kyosho did. And, Kyosho had the original USA one. We've got the big 1/8 scale version that we got from the RC Elf. But, they all had their own purpose as a monster truck in the RC hobby. So, if you yourself do not consider something like the Blackfoot a monster truck, just because it's not a straight axle truck, then I think you're kind of an ass, honestly. Because these came out as monster trucks, I mean, that's what they are. They got big tires on them, they got a truck body, they're a monster truck. Just because they're two-wheel drive doesn't make them not a monster truck, or not straight axle doesn't make them not a monster truck, Granted, the Clod is most like a monster truck out of the Tamiya line, I guess, because it's got the solid axles, but even it is not scale because it's motor on axle kind of thing, Now, in our collection, I guess the closest to a real monster truck would either be the USA one because it's straight axle, or the Jegs monster truck because it's straight axle. But to me, they're all monster trucks, and I think you can all agree. But it all started, these three right here, the Big Bear, the Blackfoot, and the Clodbuster. And, it's all three pieces of RC monster truck history, and without those, we wouldn't have these big, badass, low-C monster trucks, LMTs, or, stuff like that are doing the competitions today. But you know what? There's still a ton of guys out there that use the Clodbuster chassis as their competition monster trucks in the RC monster truck races. So, I guess it's tomato, Tamiya, Tamiya, whatever, but yeah, that whole argument just made me mad, and it made me want to do a little bit of a video on the history of monster trucks. So if you're seeing this, I decided to post it, and anyway, next video up will be on the Falcon. I'm going to be starting the restoration on it. I brought my little paint booth home so I can paint down here in my basement and get a lot less overspray. That's part of the reason why some of this stuff was so dusty in here, is just from the overspray. Yeah, so I brought my little paint booth home. Going to the hobby shop here in a little bit to get some paint for it, and gonna stop at the hardware store and get some RIT dye for the pieces that I got from Will Thompson, and those turned out very well, actually. I got them pretty well smoothed, and I think they look great, and so those caster blocks will be awesome. But yeah, stay tuned for more ranting and raving about monster truck history, I guess. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and hit up IowaBudgetRCBashers.com. Get yourself a t-shirt or a hat.